Is it on?
Recording.
Okay.
Here we are.
Here we are. We are the three
girls.
cats. Okay,
Three
the cat girls. This one over here is Bella.
Isn't she
And
beautiful?
she's in charge. Okay. But she's out of here. That's the first cat. I'm Cat Pagano.
And I'm Claudia Ann Trivelas. My initials spell cat.
So we're the three cats.
We're the three cats, and
Okay.
we're very playful, and we want to add some lightness and joy to your life.
To the situation.
That's right. And provide some perspective.
Yes. We're both
So
astrologers. And of course, astrology is a wonderful way to get a larger perspective on life, you know? And the more that you know astrology, the more you aren't, you know, hit over the head with what's going on, because in the sky, it's been telling us this is coming.
And astrology is a lot about cycles, and there are a couple of major cycles that are leading up to where we are right now.
Yeah.
Which is the equinox.
It's
Spring
the equinox. Here's the first part
cycle.
of it.
Right.
Okay. And so for astrologers, we say that the spring equinox is the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
New beginnings.
New beginnings. The old, the death of the old, the beginning of the new, the birth of the new, Easter, all of that. There's a great pagan song that says twice each year we come in balance, and this is the time to make choices.
Equal day, equal night. So we're at a major balance point.
Yeah.
As you can probably identify with, given that our inner life and outer life are in balance.
Yeah.
We're balancing all that outer life with
the inner life.
The inner life, which is very important. Because, and key to this year.
Yeah, because we've been focused on the outside, and now we're being sent to our rooms to pay attention, to imagine, to do something different. Okay, so the equinox is about how do we balance the left and right side of the brain as well. And as a culture, we've really lived in our left brain, the rational masculine brain, we call it. But now we're being sent to our room to imagine, okay, which is the right side of the brain. And as Albert Einstein said, our culture has made the servant the master. Okay, our rational brain should serve our heart.
And this is key, because our mind, as wonderful as it is a tool. It's not the be-all, end-all.
No.
It's not the heart.
No. So we picked two archetypal cards.
Before we started.
Okay, so.
I picked the heart.
And I picked venom.
The coronavirus.
The coronavirus. So what will confront, you know, how do we beat, okay? How do we confront the coronavirus? How do we beat
to the tune of our own drum?
Right.
Our inner drum.
Now in alchemy, they say, and in homeopathy, a little bit of poison, okay, helps you get through and transform. So this having to go within, having to self-distance, having to be on your own and be yourself is perfect, because the equinox is the beginning of Aries. I'm going to show you the chart for the equinox. Oops, I have lost it once again. So once again, let me find it.
In the meantime, I'm going to talk about the coronavirus, because speaking of cycles, the coronavirus was discovered in China, or identified in China. It was around a little before that, on January 7th, which was just 5 days before a very important conjunction in the heavens of Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn, which set off a whole new cycle. Saturn's about structure, Pluto's about transformation. We're transforming structures.
Yes.
Big time.
Yeah. Although these planets meet every 30, 35 years, they haven't met in Capricorn since the beginning, since 17. Right when Martin Luther started.
A long time ago.
Yeah, 500 years ago. Okay. Martin Luther, you know, changed the course of Western history and began the Protestant Reformation. Okay. So we're not going to get heavy, because as we said, the cats are playful and fun, you know. So mostly we're going to concentrate on how to have fun with this. Okay. How to take that little bit of poison, stay in the house, and transform it into heart. Okay. And also how we hope to offer you some tools over the course of us creating these little videos. Yeah.
That can be helpful to you and to give you perspective.
Right. So as Claudia was saying, Saturn which rules Capricorn. So it's all about being a grown-up and being responsible,
And
not so
shoulds.
cat-like, and the shoulds.
The should,
Okay?
lots of shoulds.
But that's the old system. That's patriarchy. That's the thing that's coming down. But in other cultures, the Capricorn is seen as the council of grandmothers. Wisdom, feminine wisdom.
And also one of the planets you might want to point out, one of the asteroids right now that are involved with this myriad of planets and
right here,
beings in Capricorn right now is Pallas Athena.
Yeah.
Which is the goddess of wisdom.
Well, she's the goddess of masculine wisdom. Okay, I have to say that.
Well, but we're transforming the Capricorn to grandmother
wisdom.
So.
Yeah, but Pallas Athena came out of Zeus's head because he swallowed her mother, who was the goddess of wisdom. So it's kind of a strategic.
But that's an old interpretation, right?
That's true.
We're here to give new interpretations.
But it's strategic wisdom, which isn't bad, and not. I'm just saying the masculine isn't bad because we have to balance it, and
also
we do need strategy.
The big picture.
Yeah, the big picture. Because I find that true wisdom is grounded in Mother Earth. Okay, that's another thing, the grandmothers. So anyway, the interesting thing about this chart, okay, we've set it for 0 degrees Aries, so that's sort of a generic chart for everyone, is all the planets are on the left side of the chart.
It's an amazing time, not only because of all the planets in Earth, but the way that they're set up in the chart.
Right.
There's in between the two nodes.
There's 6 planets in Earth. So it's very much about grounding in this new energy. And when all the planets are on that side of the chart, it's a sowing incarnation or a sowing time. So we have to sow, we have to plant seeds for our new life. Okay.
And speaking of sowing, so this is a new cycle, a cycle for the year, the spring equinox. Also, what's happening tomorrow, on the 21st, is that Saturn moves into Aquarius for a brief stay
till July.
So it's a taste of a new energy with Saturn having been in Capricorn since December of 2017.
Yeah.
So this new energy brings in more humanitarianism. It's also an energy of innovation and an energy of originality, an energy of tech. It rules technology. And it's a prelude to a new cycle that starts on the winter solstice, exactly 9 months away. So what we're gestating in this 9-month period is bringing forth new innovation, new originality to a new world, because things are going to be different by December.
And Aquarius is very much about freedom as well. And if you notice, on the equinox, the moon was in Aquarius. The moon is our body soul, our emotional nature. And in Aquarius, it says, I want higher wisdom. I want that higher love, if you will. And so it's about being very innovative, but also looking towards cosmic consciousness rather than a material consciousness, you could say.
But it's also about self-responsibility, because the Capricornian energy, where Saturn's been, is about being responsible, but Aquarius takes it to the next level. So it's saying that it's by each person being responsible for themselves, then we create a new society that cares for each other.
Right. And just to add another little thing that I just thought that we didn't mention in the other 2 times we tried to do this, because we're kind of the grandmother cats. We're the grandmother cats. Okay?
Well, we are technological to some degree.
We are to some degree. But anyway, when Saturn moves into Aquarius, it's going to what we call square the other ruler of Aquarius. There's 2 rulers of Aquarius. One is Saturn, that was the old one, but when we discovered Uranus, we said, oh, that could be another ruler. And so Uranus is in Taurus. So that's very much about bringing in those ideas and then ground them.
And having to use technology to do that, because we don't have a choice. Technology is what we have to use during this time.
Well, at the supermarket, besides all the toilet paper being gone, all of the baking goods, there's no flour left. People are going back probably to the internet to get the recipes to make bread, which is the bread of life. Yeah. Right?
And that brings us to a conversation about the nodes.
Yeah.
Right?
So go ahead.
All right.
Go for it.
So right now, key in the chart, maybe you can point, the South Node has been in Capricorn, and it's
Come on, there it is.
It still is, which is all about our past, what our line of least resistance is. So this brings in that energy of shoulds, of responsibility, but responsibility to a higher authority rather than responsibility to your inner self.
Right, to your boss, you know, to
Or
whoever,
the structure
to the
of
structure.
bosses. Not to say that, you know,
Right.
it's a type of boss.
Right. It's an outer boss. Okay. We've grown up with a lot of outer rules, the shoulds and the oughts. As Carl Jung said, just think of it as a committee of old white guys and you'll understand why you don't want to listen.
Some of them, they're okay.
Some of them are okay. But that was the way he described it. You know?
We're not being prejudiced. We're not shooting.
Okay.
We're not doing shit.
Okay.
But anyway, the North Node is in Cancer, and Cancer is all about nurturing and mother energy.
Because Capricorn is the father energy.
Yeah.
Right.
And Cancer is about self-care. And here you go. What's most important right now?
And it's in the fourth house of home. Right?
That's right.
It's in the fourth house of home. And it's interesting because all the planets are sort of squished in between these two nodes. And the nodes are where eclipses occur. They're points in space where the planes of the sun, the moon, and the earth come together and they form eclipses.
And again, the onset of this virus, or when it was identified, was between two eclipses.
Right. And wasn't it right around 4 degrees Capricorn, the day after Christmas? We had an eclipse.
26th of December.
A solar eclipse, and then we had a lunar eclipse 2 weeks later.
And it was square Chiron.
Right.
Which you just pointed out.
So we're going to see here. And so the thing is, it says, and this is the house of sort of being out in the world, if you will, in a generic way. It says, yeah, that's the old thing. Get home. Go home.
That's right.
Go home and play with the cats.
Cat.
Right? But it says before you can get home, you have to stop off here because it's a 90 degree. It's called at the bendings. And the sun and pretty much Chiron, because they're pretty close.
Which is generically called the wounded healer, but it's much more than that.
It's the mentor. It's the wound that makes us conscious, if you will. And on Tuesday, the 24th, there's a new moon.
That keep you from really going deep inside. It's that ancestral wounding. It's the
the feeling rejected, the feeling like, who am I? So right now, this energy
which needs to be confronted, or will be confronted in this process of being isolated.
So it says, as you get away from the old rules of who you should be, and you want to come down into your heart, okay, about who you really are, first you have to ask the question, who am I? Okay, which is Aries. Aries is an adventurer. Usually you find Aries out there adventuring and being a pioneer. So our job now is go within, be an inner explorer.
And the key words for Aries are I am.
Yeah. So you have to figure out who you are.
That's right.
Who are you?
And get through the obstacles that are created by any wounding from parental upbringing, from the collective consciousness that has had all these shoulds. Anything that negated the fact that you were unique and that you were special and you have your own gifts.
Right. When I was growing up, my mother used to be a dancer and I was a great dancer, and she would go, oh, you're the best dancer of all of us. Too bad you don't have a dancer's body. Okay. So there went my dancing career. Except I dance. Okay. And for my 70th birthday, I gave myself a trip to Istanbul last year to dance. So we need to get back into our original, you know, as Matthew Fox, the theologian, says, we need to find our original blessings.
That's right.
That might be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a lot already for today, but we'll be back. We're going to find different ways.
We're going to talk about the fact that Aries, the equal day, equal night is a balance point. And we're going to offer you some tools as we go along. Today, we're just going to talk about the breath, because that is a balance point, the in-breath, the out-breath. So conscious breathing is key to lessening anxiety.
Yes.
And also to stay grounded and bring forth some of that innovation.
Yeah.
That's available.
And also fear, okay, lowers your immune system. So get out of fear, okay? One of the things I have a great quick story. My ex-husband got married and had kids in his old age. And when his little girl was like 3 or 4, she talked to her stepsister, my daughter, who was in her 30s. And she walked across a grate, and my daughter said, Ava, what are you doing? And she said, and because she was going, oh, I'm so afraid. And Jen said, why are you doing it? She says, because I have to be brave. Okay. And she's an Aries. And she didn't know that, but she knew it instinctively. We have this instinctive knowledge of who we are. So be
sometimes
brave.
you just have to push through and get to that point.
Right.
Don't let the fear hold you back.
Right. So one of the things that you could also do is down here is your thymus. If you just bend your elbow, wherever your hand hits is pretty much your thymus, and you make a little qigong soft thing, and you hit it, and you hit your lungs, and that helps your immune system.
Like the American Indians used to do.
Yeah. Or like Tarzan. Oh!
Right.
Okay, so be playful.
It reinforces your immune system. Good thing to do.
Yeah, do that. Play with some cats, play with some strings, you know. And if you go from project to project, nobody's going to pick on you, because that's what cats do. They're there for a moment, right, and then it's like, oh, I'm bored. Right. I'm out of here.
And right? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Right.
Necessity is ruled by Capricorn. Invention is ruled by Aquarius. So it's bridging that gap. That's where we're at. That's right. The cycle we're in.
So if you want, you can make believe that we are at the beginning of the age of Aquarius, even though on some level they say it won't happen for another couple years, you know, maybe 100 years in the future. But we are the grandparents of the future.
Yeah.
And this is the moment that we have been waiting for, to create a new society of freedom and equality, which is also Aquarius.
Yeah.
Right? So we have the next 2 years, starting at winter solstice, to begin to bring in this new, wonderful, creative culture.
That's how long that cycle will last, with Saturn being in Aquarius. It's another 2
and a half years. Yeah. So anyway, we're just getting along. We're like cats. It's like, get out of here. Okay, but we'll be back. Okay. Right. Hopefully Bella, she left. She said, I'm not playing with you anymore. That's another cat thing. If you want to go away and self-nurture, just go in and dream. Okay. So we will look for us on the on Facebook and on the internet. We're going to be back. We're going to just have fun. Okay. And if you need any ideas, hopefully we'll come up with a few for you. Okay. But I'm sure that all of you are as creative as you need to be.
And our contact information will be on Facebook. We'll post that as well.
Okay. So anyway, have fun. Take care. Meow.
Namaste.
Namaste. Goodbye.